Welcome to the Hot Mess Cosmic Express, where we talk about the stars, shuffle a few cards, and never pretend to have our shit together. Hello, my little patch of Brussels sprouts. Welcome to another episode of the Hot Mess Cosmic Express. I am your co-host for this flight, Miss Darcy Britt. This is my cosmic co-commander,
Tracy Gardner.
How you doing, Tracy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you very much. It's actually been a great day. It's not been too bad, so I'm happy to be here and recording. And
what are you wearing?
I'm sorry.
What's on your head?
Oh, this is my moon hat. This is my moon hat. We're going to talk today. Awesome. I thought this was a good way to kind of segue into. I got this for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I love it. And I don't have to. It's actually, I don't think it's supposed to be like a sombrero. And actually, it matches my moon background back there. If I did it just right.
It does.
But I wanted to talk about the Virgo New Moon today. So I thought, you know what? Since we're getting a little bit of a following going, and we've got a great crew like over on our Facebook group that's growing, which shout out to everybody over there. We really appreciate the engagement and all that stuff because everybody's excited to learn. But I thought it was kind of a good time to kick things off and start talking a little bit about the moon. So
yes,
that's what we can talk about today, if you're okay with that.
Yes. What is a new moon?
Oh, you're going to make me go through my notes. And so this is so I'll talk about, a new moon in general. So there's 8 phases to the moon. And when we look up in the sky, most of the time we can see either like a little sliver of her, or you can sometimes see her when she's full, which is like at 100% illumination. When we have a new moon, when you look up in the sky, you won't see the moon at all. So if you're ever thinking, oh my gosh, where's the moon at? It's actually there. But because of, here we go scientifically, because of where it actually aligns in orbit between the Earth and the sun, it becomes dark. So we actually aren't able to see it because it's inside of the shadow. So the new moon scientifically, or I should say astrologically, is when the sun and the moon are literally right on top of each other or conjunct. So they're right there on top of each other. And because of that, the moon is in the sun's shadow and we can't see it. And then it only takes like a day and the moon will be like across this way. And then that's when we start off with our waxing gibbous moon. When we can start
when you can just see a sliver.
Yeah, like tiniest little sliver. Yeah. So that's technically what a new moon is. If you wanted to, like I said, get really, really technical, it's a conjunction where the sun and the moon are at the exact same spot and you cannot see the moon because she is hidden behind the sun's shadow.
So since they're conjunct, and conjunct just means that they're together, that means that they're in the same sign. So if the sun is in Virgo, the moon's in Virgo, and it's a new moon, it's the new moon's going to be in the same as the sun. Did I say that right?
Yeah, the new moon will be in the same sign as the sun sign. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. You're right. Right. So so for example, we just had Leo season is where we're at right now until August the 22nd or August the 23rd at like midnight, literally. So when we had the
22nd, like it's 12:01, right? So on the 22nd, like 12:01, because I always thought it was done on the 22nd. That's what
so here's the thing. This is where knowing your chart is so important. And I guess I should tell her, I guess I should have, we're just starting out. So we're going to get better at this, but I need to remind everybody, get your birth charts out, guys. Cause we are going to go over.
And I may have just misspoke. I didn't mean the new moon. I meant the Virgo season.
Virgo season. When does Virgo season start? So that's the thing where knowing your chart and seeing your chart and knowing what time you were born is so important, because even though we look, sorry, I've got a stray hair here. I know I shouldn't pull them out, but they drive me nuts. Even though like, if you look at, and they're like, oh, Virgo season starts on like August the 23rd to September the 22nd. Technically, because if the sun doesn't move into Virgo until like in the afternoon on August the 23rd, and you were born in the morning, you're still a Leo.
Oh,
So that's why knowing the time you were born gets really, really important. So,
so I
so
guess I was going just the generic of like what you look up online. When I would look it up online, it says the 22nd to like August 22nd to September 23rd
right,
is what it says
right.
online.
And seeing that changes as well because it just so happens, Tracy, I don't know if you know this or not, but you happen to be talking to someone whose birthday is on the cusp, right? I'm on the
Right.
cusp, which means my birthday is on August the 23rd. So this situation applies to me where depending on the time I'm born. So to your point, you said August 22nd. The year that I was born, Virgo didn't happen until I think it was noon on August the 23rd. So every year it does really change and it does get down
I
to the
didn't
very
realize that. I didn't realize that, and it makes total sense. My older son, Koe, is kind of he's born on the 22nd of September, so he's right there on Libra, on the
Yep.
cusp of Libra. So I'll have to go in and look at his chart to see
Yeah, I
what
was
it
going to look
is.
here because to your point, so that's kind of how those of us in like the moon life or whatever, that's how we know kind of keep track of what new moon is coming. So like I know that Virgo season this year starts at about hang on, when's the new moon? So Virgo season this year starts right around midnight on the 23rd. Um
On the 23rd, going into
on,
24th.
hang on here, I'm going to pull it up right away. Hang on, I wasn't going to pull up
That's
my
what I guess I was a little confused.
No, you're okay. Okay, so it is. So the sun is okay. Hang on. Boys and girls use AstroSeek, and I love it because I can literally go back minute by minute by minute. Um. Okay, so here's the dill pickle. All right, I'm going to tell you exactly. So it is the 22nd. I'm going to tell you what time it is. So if you're born on the 22nd this year, you are quite possibly going to be yourself a Virgo. Oh. And it's fun too. Like I like pulling charts like for my grandkids, like the ones that are coming. Like, oh my gosh, if we get this down to the minute, we can have a Libra baby.
Oh, that would be
It's
fun.
just fun. Hang on, I'm going back by 1 minute. That's not very smart because the sun moves much slower. Boys and girls, it takes the sun 365 days to move all 30 around all 365 degrees on your chart and through all 12 houses. Which is what we're going to talk about today. Here we go. Hang on, I'm getting closer. I promise. I promise I should have prepped before this to all the boys and girls at home. I really apologize. Here we go. We're nailing it. Okay, we are at 0 degrees and 0 feet of Virgo at, drumroll please, um, August 22nd, 2025 at 4:36 p.m. So, if you're born at 3:36 p.m. on August the 22nd, even though everything says your sun sign is a Virgo, you are technically a Leo. And it does get that technical. And not everybody has to, but I can tell you as someone who grew up on a cusp that you want to know to the exact minute exactly where your sun is because you can't embrace your true self and really get to know like your true sun sign. And your sun sign is all about like how your ego is going to express itself in this lifetime. So if I can't make up my mind on am I a Leo or am I a Virgo, then my soul can't really express itself the way it's supposed to. So I had to go in and figure out that I was 0 degrees and 33 feet into Virgo. So in the year in 1973, I was born at 3:41 p.m. on August the 23rd, and it was and at 33 feet, I just went back. I mean, it takes a second to go back that far. So it might have been actually closer to like 9 o'clock in the morning that day that it switched over to Virgo. So, but I'm definitely a Virgo, which I have fully embraced. I've said this before. I mean, I went out and bought a label maker. I don't lose my keys now. Like I started embracing true Virgo things because your sun sign is all about what you express. So, but anyway, so yeah, so That's Virgo season. So Virgo season, boys and girls, does actually start on August the 22nd this year at 4:36 p.m.
That's
Which
awesome.
means, I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. I mean, I've been doing astrology forever, and it never really dawned on me. I just always went by the day. I never really thought about, and even though I know that the moves into signs through, it can be different times of the day, it never dawned on me to go and look when it actually moved for people that are on the cusp. Because like
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that. I'm deep in Virgo, so I'm
So deep.
so I don't have to worry about it. But for those that are born on, the 22nd or the 23rd of a month, watching where it moves into to see, to make sure it doesn't, because you technically could be a Virgo
Yeah.
or
You
be a
could,
Leo.
well,
Yeah,
and then, sorry, I'm about ready to get attacked. I swear, if he bites my feet, I swear he's like, it's like watching Jaws. Like they're like, I can see him circle on around down here. It just, sorry, I'm getting
got
closer. There's a boob shot.
got
It just, I don't, it really, it depends. And that's again why you can't just go off of the dates, right? Because it can really get down to the nitty gritty. And for somebody that's on the cusp, that's the biggest thing, because most people that are there will say I'm on the cusp. And really, again, I'll say it, the cusps are nothing, right? You have to know exactly what degree you were born at. But if you want to get even crazier, Tracy, I was born in West Lafayette, Indiana. And in 1973, in West Lafayette, Indiana, we were one of the only two places in the United States that did not observe daylight savings time.
That is right.
This is how hard I'm trying to find my sun sign, because I'm like, am I really a Virgo? Can I just be a Leo?
You wanted to be
Because,
a Leo so bad.
well, it would explain a little bit more, because I am not organized. Nothing I do, I mean, I guess I talk about I'm not like a perfectionist, but I do not do things sometimes because they're not perfect. But I don't know. I think I would fit more in a Leo than a Virgo. But anyway, because if you want to factor in daylight savings time, maybe I could, but an hour is not going to sway it that much on my sun sign. So I'm a fucking Virgo. I'm just gonna take it and do that. So,
That's
but
actually
yeah,
a good way, a segue into my next question, because we went through what is a new moon. So what about the Virgo new moon? How does that play into it? The
this is the
Virgo,
fun
the
part.
sign.
Right. So I talked before about how there's like 8 phases of the moon, right? And the new moon is just one of those 8 phases. And each one of those moons, like when we're working with them, and it's fun here because watch, I get to show. We can't do slideshows, I get to show you on my hat. I'm a trainer by heart, boys and girls, right? So this, if you considered like this was like the new moon, right? So when the new moon, when we think about this, this would be the full moon. It's big and it's bright, and the full moon is when we release things. That's because it feels like it's getting ready to explode. We are all like at this huge emotional energy, and it's like, like, I'm gonna like pop it, and
It's
it's
it's like it's going to pop. You have to
bingo.
release it, or you're going to pop.
Right. So, but if I go, or technically, if I did this the correct way, there's the full moon. And then over all the way over here would be 180 degrees. This would be the new moon. It's dark. So at the new moon, that's where we talk about new beginnings, fresh starts. That's where we talk about when we're working with the moon. That's where we set our goals and we start manifesting. Okay, so that's the first part about it. So once we know that, hey, this is the new moon and this is the time where we can get in there and I can start writing down some goals, you know, it's if nothing else, and I'll just give this side thing here. If you, whether you believe in astrology, whether you think any of this stuff works, whether you follow the moon, whether you know your signs, whether you even care what the sign is in, really none of that matters. What the whole premise around all of this is to help you get your fucking life together.
That is
Because
true.
if every new moon, right? If every new moon you set a goal for yourself, are you serious? I mean, how many people just breeze through life and go, what happened to the last year? Guess what? If you follow and do this and you set goals with every new moon, you don't do that, because you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually like change stuff in my life last year. I like actually did things. You actually get this
That
like
is
sense
true.
of,
That is very true. When I
yeah.
took your class, like I had never
Oh, I
heard,
forgot
like
about
I
that.
knew about astrology, but I didn't know about like focusing in on the moon and following the moon. And when I took your moonology class, and it does, it's you set your goals in the new moon, and then if you track it, like just keeping a journal and writing down, what your goals are, and then you know when that full moon comes around, you can check off the things that you've accomplished. It
Bingo.
does. It definitely.
It helps you to, and if you want to go even deeper with it. So that's the thing is, that's really where I kind of got excited because I thought, oh my gosh, I can actually set some goals. I mean, it's nice that it follows the zodiac sign, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But to your point, it gave me the opportunity to actually be a big girl for a second and set some goals rather than blaming everything that was wrong in my life on everybody else or my past or getting upset or thinking I'd been hexed or cursed or whatever. It's like, okay, I can set my mind and I can change this. And I did, right? And I've done it before. So it's just, I don't even know where I was going on that, but I don't even know where the hell I was going. I totally, interesting. I flashed somewhere completely different. So that's all right. It happens sometimes when I start talking about this stuff. But um, because we manifest, like I said, it helps you just to get your shit together. It helps you to look at what you're doing. And oh, this is what I was talking about. If you go and look at all 12 houses on your chart, and we're going to talk about this in another episode, but there are 12 houses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each one of those 12 houses deals with a different area of your life. So, starting with your rising sign, which deals with how you present yourself to the world, and all the way around to your 12th house, which is the one that deals with like the darker parts of like, like where the stuff we do when we're retreating and we're all by ourselves kind of thing.
The
But
hidden
if you
stuff.
set your goals, because you have a different zodiac sign in every house on your chart. And so if you set a goal with the house where that zodiac sign is on your chart, every year you will have set a goal in a different area of your life. So,
You can change 12 parts of your life in a year because, like,
yes,
you have all the different houses. So yeah, you could at least accomplish 12 things in
or
a year.
just set 12 small goals. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to move the mountains, but let's say that there's, so new moon, right? New moon is where we set goals or make wishes. You can wish for things. I am a Virgo, boys and girls. I will put the word new moon wishes down on things, and in the back of my mind, I call her her name is Jane, and I feel really bad for her, but I'm always knocking her off my shoulder. But she just sits there and she's like, wishes are for wishes are a bunch of BS because I'm so bad. I'm such a Virgo. But I like to use the word goals or intentions, right? So we set those in a different area. So like for your first house, no matter, so you look at set your goal, and then you're going to do your first house. Your first house is all about how you come across to the world. So they can get really, really deep, and we're going to talk more about this later, but the easy one that I like is your appearance. Okay. It can be your physical appearance. So hair, clothes. It's a great time to get your hair cut. It's a great time to get a makeover. It's any way that when you're out in public, think about all those things. That's a really great thing to do. Like when the moon is in your first house. Okay. But then when you pair it with the actual sign, and we're going to talk about the new moon in Virgo, then you get to really get into more of the flavor of what it is, and you can get really targeted with those goals, and it helps you to set goals if you struggle with where you might want to set them. Like if I say do your hair in your first house, but you're really not sure what you want to do, we would take a look at what sign is in your first house and then give you some of those traits and things that go with that sign. And that gives you some ideas on where you could set some goals.
Okay, so our Virgo house is in
Yes.
sixth house, right?
No. Virgo is in the 10th house on our chart.
What am I'm thinking of the basic, the normal, the what do they call it? Oh, what do they
You're thinking of the natural order: Aries,
yes,
Taurus,
yes,
Gemini.
yes, yes, you
Yeah,
were right. In
yeah.
our chart, it is the 10th
It is
house.
the 10th house. Yeah, you're going in astrological
I what
order.
it is, that image I sent you,
Yes,
that's what hit that's what
right
was
there.
in
I
my
wondered if you
head,
flashed,
and I
right? Yep,
immediately
yep,
went to 6th house. Yep.
yep. That's why I said when I'm like, I can't even remember what I was talking about. It's like some picture goes across my mind. Yeah. So in our chart, Virgo, even though we're Virgo suns, right? Virgo is in our 10th house. So I would focus on, first thing I would look at is like, what are some of the traits of Virgo? And then I would dive a little bit deeper if I wanted to and say, okay, well, those are Virgo traits. So I can set goals that are like Virgo minded. Or I could actually look at my 10th house and I could set goals that are focused on the 10th house on my chart. And that's really where the magic happens when you get down to the house. But I thought that to keep things easy today, what I would do is kind of go over like a little bit about this Virgo new moon, like when it happens, because there's some exciting stuff about it. And then talk about a little bit about Virgo traits so people can give everybody maybe like 5 or 6 suggestions on things you could do, set just like general Virgo new moon goals. And then I do have, as a special treat for our listening audience, a preview of my book. I'm just joking. It's not. She
She
looked up.
really does
She
give a
looked
good
up like,
book.
what?
I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We need to get Darcy to.
It's bad, guys. I figured it up the other day. It's like over 100,000 words. I mean, I've written books and books on this. But anyway, for our listening audience, I'm really excited because when you took my class, I had just started doing this stuff and I didn't have this kind of stuff. But I have suggestions for every single house. So that's where everybody needs to have their charts out so they know their rising sign, because I'm doing this based off of your rising sign, which is the first house on everybody's chart. So, you ready? You asked me
Yes.
about Virgo new moon. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you want to know about Virgos?
Yes, I do.
All right. So I'm going to tell you about them in just a minute, but I'm going to tell you what's exciting about this Virgo new moon. So, Virgo new moon is going to happen this year on Saturday, August the 23rd
And
at,
why is that such a special day to
you know
you,
what,
Darcy?
Tracy? Well, not only is it the Virgo new moon, but it is also my birthday.
Happy
So,
birthday.
now, that's what makes it even more exciting, boys and girls, because in the astrological world, your birthday is known as your solar return. So, your solar return is when the sun goes all the way around your chart and it returns to the exact same spot, degree that it was at the exact same moment you were born.
Yes,
So, it's exciting.
it is
So, for
exciting.
me, I had to write this down here. Oh, but I didn't write that part down. Okay, well, I didn't write as much down as what I thought I did. I'm such a bad Virgo. Um, oh, here we go. I did write it down. Look on another. Okay, just so everybody understands, I took notes in this notebook. I took notes in this notebook. I typed out notebooks. Here's my OneNote with my handwritten notes on the back. Here's a really awesome handout worksheet I can't wait to get out to people. Here's where I hand wrote some more new notes on the Virgo new moon. I have a problem.
That's part of Virgo is over. We love to research. We love to dig in deep, and we tend to overdo it.
Shut up. That's a Virgo thing?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I just thought I was thinking it was more like my Jupiter in Aquarius and then because my Jupiter's
There's
in
other
retrograde
planets
that
that
I
come
was
in,
just
other planets and signs that come into it. But no, some of the Virgo traits are we're detail oriented.
okay, I do know
We
that.
we like to, and like one of the like I always see it as one of the jobs that it would be good for us is like a research or an editor, because we like to problem solve. We like to like
Okay.
get in there, research, and then take it all apart and find all the the pieces, and then find a better way to put things together. That's why we're good trainers.
Well, is that
Because
why
that's
though?
what
As
trainers
soon as
do.
is that so? I love trivia, but is that why like anytime anybody has a question, I just want to get on Google and find the answer because
Yeah,
people will
yeah.
sit there.
My
I mean,
husband, Steve, does this to me on purpose. He will ask me questions because he knows I can't just let it go. Like if you ask me,
oh, that's
like
mean.
was this person in this movie? I'll be like, I don't know. But then, like 2 or 3 minutes later, I'm on my phone
If you
trying
can't
to
remember
find
it,
out because I can't let it go. I cannot not know something.
he's
If
trying to
you
drive you
ask me a
crazy, Tracy.
question, I may not know the answer, but I'm going to find you the answer because I can't let it go.
See, and that's always been like my like mindset when I talk about like compliance and stuff is like I may not know the answer, but I'll tell you the answer. So back to what you were talking about with Virgo. You were talking about how we like routine. We like or not routine, how we like detail
Hmm.
oriented and research, right?
Right.
I had routine. I said that one. Of course, we do like a daily routine. Virgos are a lot about daily routine. So, excuse me, keeping in mind this is where we're going with your goals, ladies and gentlemen, right? Let's see. So routines, they love
Organization, having systems in place because that's part of your
label
daily
makers.
routine.
Label makers.
Yep.
Label makers is a
Yep.
Virgo's best
Any
friend.
office supplies.
Office supplies. I'm a small hoarder with the office supplies. Yes. That's always something. Another thing is that they're very, so they are known as, we talk about Sagittarius because we are both Sagittarius rising and how that one is kind of like the gypsy soul, kind of the archer of the zodiac and the flaming arrow. Virgo is known as the bean counter. I know it's depicted by Virgo the Virgin, which I like to think of myself as a virgin. I don't think that's going to fly, right? But we are known as a bean counter. So that does go back to what you talked about research. Very good at analysis, and probably more than one Virgo listener out there is an Excel spreadsheet geek. Right. We were talking before we got on here. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'll do it. Yep. Count me in. So so we love analysis. We're really good at that, but we're also very, very much into health. We're pretty health conscious. So we'll either try things that are like healthy trends, or we don't mind like trying even alternative health solutions. If it's not, clean eating is one that's often thrown out there, but I don't know how big that is in truly Virgo, but I do know like, healthy things and healthy habits, that's a huge Virgo. Hint hint on your goals, boys and girls, that's a huge like Virgo focus, is that and then
Or
being of
healthier
service.
ways. Like it could even be like, I know for me, I'm not the greatest at eating healthy,
And
but
me,
like
I
as
sugar.
far like but I am good about like watching what's in my hair products or what's in
Yep.
my food or what's like, me and Steve have worked really hard about like eliminating like plastics and stuff.
Yep.
So it may not be that you eat healthy, but you may like what was that?
I'm so sorry to the listening audience at home. That was my husband sneezing. That's why I was just like, it's like
I didn't hear it. I just saw your face and knew something had
sorry. It was
happened.
just like it was like through two doors, and I'm like, yeah, it was really, really loud. Like, I hope he didn't, his brain's still in there. We're lucky. But yeah, to your point, it's not just like eating, it's being health conscious, I guess, is kind of it. And so that's another part of it. And so, and another thing, like sometimes Virgos, like I said, alternative stuff. So I think he's watching, I'm going to have to text him. I hear jazz flute. So either my
I do
husband
hear
has
something like a flute.
either he need. I hang on. I think he's watching Ron Burgundy. Just hang on one second. I'm
Not a
gonna have.
problem. I can actually, I wanted to go back and touch on when you were talking earlier about how you're not, you said something earlier about how you're not neat. You're not um,
I'm not
organized
what.
or that you're not neat. Like we were talking about Virgos
Right.
being, I this because I'm not really. If you see this room, I'm in my craft room. That's where I record until we move into the other room. But you can see there's all kinds of stuff. So I don't would not consider myself neat, but I think there's different areas. But because at
Okay.
work, I was very very neat. When I was working in an office, my desk was always very very neat. I have there's certain areas of your life that you're probably neater and more organized than like other areas. Like at home, I'm at home, so I don't care. But at work, my stuff was always organized. I was always on top of it. But
There
at
are
home,
some
I'm a
areas.
little bit more like my Sag rising because I'm home. It's me. Whereas work, especially Virgos in our 10th house, and 10th house is work,
Right.
career. I bet if you looked at areas at work, you would find yourself more organized, neat
Yeah.
there because of that.
I'm the one that's always like last year when I was doing the kindergarten thing. I mean, I was always walking around with the sweeper. I was always cleaning off tables,
Mhm.
tidying things up and whatever. And here at home, I'm like, I got coffee mug here that's, got hang on, there's still coffee in that one. There's all these, so no, but you're right. It's at different places. And I guess that's a really good point where when we've talked about this before, that you are more than your sun sign. And so it's not even right for, I mean, and that's how easy it is for all of us, right? I'm a Virgo and I'm stereotyping myself against
Right.
other Virgos saying, well, I thinking that I should, but there's all different levels of it. It's all a learning process. It
Well,
really is.
it takes a while to like. I mean, look, we've been doing this for a while, but it's easy to fall into those stereotype traps
Oh,
because that's what we the majority of us probably only knew our sun signs until a couple of years ago because you couldn't find that information.
right,
So, I mean, it was probably 2020 when I found out that, I had a Gemini moon and I'm a Sagittarius sun or rising. So, I mean, I can understand why people, do that where they think all Virgos are this way, but
right,
it's it is that those characteristics are true, but you also need to look at the house because we have you have all 12 signs. So,
right.
I mean, I have Scorpio, I have Leo, I
Yep,
all of those parts make up the whole picture of you. So
right,
you just need to it's when we dive in deeper into the houses where you can see, oh, my Virgo is in, my sixth house. So that's why I have systems and daily routines that I must follow. It's because you're Virgos in your sixth house. That would make sense. Where we're more organized at work and in our career, and because ours is in our 10th house.
right. And that's where when we start talking about really, and we're going to dive into that. I think what we're going to do is break the houses down probably into 1 through 6, and then like 6 or 7 through 12, so we can dive in and really help everybody understand what those houses mean. And it's just our opinion on it, but that really does help things out quite a bit. And so, but to your point where the Virgo sits on your chart, that's where we're going to talk about some of those new moon goals by the house. So, we talked about the Virgo traits, right? We talked about, being a little more health conscious. We talked about, maybe being a little bit more organized. We talked about how they like to research and be analytical. So those are the areas, where we could look at setting some new moon goals, right?
Right.
Now, I will say that those are positive things for setting new moon goals. And I will always say that with the sweet comes the sour, right? So there's a few other darker spots of Virgo that I do want to encourage everybody to make some general Virgo new moon goals for. Okay. So I just have two. Okay. Number one, Virgos are known for being overly critical. We've talked about this. So, one of the goals that you could do, because Virgos are overly critical, one of the things that you could do or a goal you could set, aside from everything else that we've kind of mentioned there, is to give yourself and others a break, right? Make a commitment that you can set a goal. And again, like you said before, we're only setting, they can be big goals if they need to be, but this would just be a good general goal if you're not really sure what house is on your chart and you're thinking, well, what can I do that's kind of aligned with the moon? That would be a really good one, is to make a goal to come up with some sort of, I talked about how I have Jane on my shoulder and I shake and I flip her off. Well, when people see me doing this, typically that's what I'm doing, is I'm teaching myself to not say things into my head that are so critical, right? Because I'm trying to give myself as well as others a break. Because as a Virgo, Virgos tend to be more critical on ourselves than anybody else. And it can be a very hard place to be sometimes inside of all of this, even though it looks all fun and games. It's overly critical of everything that comes out in every single way. So giving yourself a break or others a break. And that means looking at other places in your life and maybe like, okay, where have I been a little bit of a hard ass here or there? And maybe could I just soften things up a little bit for the next couple of weeks with this person, right? So just making a goal to give other people a break where we may be just being a little bit too critical. And the other one is to get out a little bit of your kinky shit and let your freak flag fly. Because Virgos, believe it or not, are known as one of the, they're the only, I know Scorpios are dark and mysterious and sexy, but believe it or not, Virgos have quite the tendency to be a little bit lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. What? Sorry, the cat was hitting me. So that's my darker goal. See, it's not always bad, right? Is
like
to, kink up your sex life a little bit. I'm talking, we're not talking you got to go out and change the world, boys and girls. There are 12 new moons every year. So it's better if we just focus on that shorter 4 weeks, and we can have bigger goals, right? Like I can set a goal that I want to write a book, right? That's huge. That's going to take like years. But I can set little goals that I'm just going to do a chapter a month, right? So you can set smaller ones to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. All right, Hot Mess Crew, that is your crash course on Virgo new moon energy and vibes. But don't go anywhere. Stay around for part 2 where we get into the really juicy stuff. Tracy and I are going to start diving through that Virgo new moon by each house on your chart, which, just keep in mind, kicks off with your rising sign, which rules the first house on your chart. So grab your birth chart, know your rising sign, and we'll see you over on part 2 of Virgo New Moon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.